Hello there. How's your day going? I hope it's treating you right. So, today we are going to learn something truly resourceful, and that is to look at the screen now. That is to talk about a memorable childhood experience. Okay, that's a pretty interesting topic, all right. First, to start with, have you ever noticed something interesting? Whenever someone asks a sudden question about childhood, what do? We suddenly smile, okay? Even if you do not know what to say at first, the memories are there at the back of your head. The problem is not memory, guys. The problem is structure, okay? And that is why many a times we find ourselves freezing to that question in the sense we do not know how to start the story or how to continue it smoothly. So, today is a very important day in reference to day 38, all right? I'm going to show you how to speak about childhood experience in a simple and a confident way without overthinking vocabulary. Okay? So, let's make this easy, guys. As you can look at the screen, the first strategy that I'm going to talk about is use the three-part story formula. Okay? And as you know, all our sessions are pretty much strategic in nature. This is one of the best formula that we have come up with here at GK Pro. Whenever you tell a story, just follow these three simple steps. And what are the steps? If you can look at the screen, okay, the first step is include when and where in your content. You're going to start your story with when and where. The second point is what truly happened. Okay, what happened when you were a kid, like this guy is swinging. All right. Now the third point is how you felt and what you learned or what you picked up with that particular situation or a circumstance. That's it. So, just so that you get the picture of the whole concept, I'm going to go ahead and read this example that I've got for you today. Okay, I want all your eyes on the screen as as I read. So, when I was around 8 years old, I went to my grandmother's village during summer vacation. One day, I got lost in the fields while playing with my cousins. I was very scared at first, but after some time, my uncle found me. That day taught me to stay close to my family and not to wander off alone. So, what's happening here? See how simple that is? We did not use difficult words at all. We just followed a simple structure. Just structure, guys. If you can look at this, when and where, all right? When I was around 8 years old. Where? Village, grandmother's village. What happened? There, we are kind of including certain sentences which really show what happened at that point of time. It says that this person got lost in the fields, right? In the end, the third point we included how this person felt. Okay, how did this person feel? He felt very scared, right? Am I clear? This is the structure pretty much is in reference with strategy one, and that is use the three-part story formula. Very easy to understand and very resourceful at the same time. Let's quickly look at the strategy two for today. Use time anchors, guys. And what do I mean by time anchors? Time anchors are these connectors, very easy to understand, and overall gives you a feeling of completeness. Okay, when you use these words, your story feels complete. Even the third person who's listening to you kind of gets hooked onto your content. See the screen. I mean, look at the screen. Sorry. It says, when I was, at the time, one day, suddenly, after that, and finally. Okay. All these phrases, they help you to connect to the whole idea. All right. So, many students or many learners stop because they do not know how to connect sentences. Now, I'll give you a quick fix here. Basically, you can just go ahead and pause the video. All right. I'm not going to tell you to read it aloud, obviously. What I'm going to tell is take a paper and a pen, all right, and write these phrases once on the piece of paper. You can pause and do that activity. What am I telling you to do? Very simple. Take a paper, a piece of paper and a pen. It can be even any rough paper as well. Just take a piece of paper, take a pen or a pencil, write these phrases now, right now. Pause the video and do the same. Why? Because this is again a sort of exercise or an activity that you can do in the class whilst I'm speaking. Okay, stop the video, pause the video, and write these phrases once at least in order to connect with them. So you can use them on daily basis as well, and see for yourself that how fluent you kind of feel at the end of the content. Let's kind of go ahead and read a example with the connectors now. All right. So when I was in primary school, I participated in a dance competition. When I was, look at this, when I was, okay. At that time, here you can see the second one. At that time, it's a connector as well. At that time, I was very shy. One day, my teacher encouraged me to join. After that, again another connector. Okay, at that time, after that, when I was, etc. I practiced every evening. Finally, a very beautiful connector indeed. I performed on stage and won the second prize. Okay, what did you feel? What did you feel? It sounds smooth. Why? Because each sentence moves the story forward, guys. Okay, try to understand that concept. With the use of connectors, each of the sentence sounds like it has to be told, and the person kind of wants to glue to you. He wants to listen to you. He'll be glued. In fact, it feels like the person or the third person listening to you, he or she would not want you to stop. Why? Because you're creating a sense of curiosity using all these phrases. So please go ahead and do the activity, the one that I just told you to pause and write it down somewhere right now. All right, great. Let's move on to the third strategy or the next strategy for today. And the topic is use the feeling booster. What do you mean by feeling booster? You can see all the emojis here. Smiley, you know, a guy who's winking, cool, funny, confused, sad. Oh, what is this guy? He's angry or frustrated, I guess, this guy. Yeah. All right. He I think he is, surprised. Yeah. This guy has a plain face, another plain face, and this guy truly doesn't know what's happening. Confused, I suppose. Okay. These are the feeling boosters. I just gave you a number of feelings in form of a vocabulary chart. Okay. So you can see here on the screen there are certain feelings in forms of words, and use simple emotion words. All right. When I'm talking about feeling booster, it means that you're looking at using emotion words like excited, nervous, scared, proud, happy. Yeah. So what I mean by that is, at the end of the day, if you add any of these emotion words, your content sounds stronger, and it also gives a feel of the curiosity. The curiosity still kicks in, and these are also known as hook words. HOOK, hook words. What are these? Hook. Okay, I'm going to try to again write on the screen. Hook words. These are known as HOOK. Hook words. What are these known as, guys? Hook words. Okay, hook words. All these words. Why? Because they are directly connected to human emotions. And what do? They create a sense of curiosity. Let's look at an example. I felt very nervous. Now, when I say I felt very nervous, the person listening to me would actually start thinking that, why did she feel nervous? Was there something that really took place? I want to listen to that. I want to truly hear. I want to truly know what exactly happened after that. So this is a hook word. Okay. So I felt nervous because it was my first time speaking on the stage. But after that, I finished. I felt proud. Look at this. Again, another hook word or another feeling. I felt proud. Again, at this moment, when I say I felt proud, many of the people want to know why exactly I felt proud, right? That's another hook. So I felt proud because everyone clapped for me, right? It feels like witty, real, connective. So basically, these are the strategies we kind of curate here at GK Pro. And let me tell you guys, these techniques are not just random phrases, They are carefully curated communication tools, okay, designed to help you to sound natural, confident, and intelligent in English. Great. Let's quickly look at strategy number 4. Now, strategy number 4 deals with adding a small detail. Okay, this in all is not a strategy. Anyone can really do it. Okay, but then in order to reinforce uh, an important point is that you add a detail. Okay, do not stop by saying, something like this, like I went on a trip. Sounds pretty boring. No one really want to kind of listen to these kind of answers, like I went on a trip. What happened there? Were you sad? Were you sad that you just want to end this topic by saying I went on a trip? Tell something else, add a small detail. All right, say I went on the school trip to the zoo. Instead of saying I was scared, kind of tell them why you were scared. Okay, add that why factor. All right, we can actually think as we are adding that why factor. Why were you scared? So I was scared because I could not see my parents. Right, right. So what's happening here? You're adding these small details, make to make your speaking sound confident and natural at the same time. Right, that's our strategy number 4. And what is it? Use small details. Use small details whenever possible. All right, strategy number 5 for today is the rescue sentence. Look at this guy trying to catch his friend who's falling down due to the use of you know wrong or incorrect sentences. Let's kind of get there and understand what exactly this is. So the rescue sentence is if you forget. Okay, now if your mind goes blank, and that's pretty much kind of common, and it happens to me as well, guys. It happens to me all the time. All right, so what happens at that point of time? Your mind goes blank, you panic. So please don't panic anymore, because I'm going to share this concept with you right away. Use a safety sentence like, let me think for a second. It's okay to tell it out loud. Instead of just staying quiet, you can go ahead and tell this, right? You can say that, let me think for a second. I remember something interesting. How about that? That's also a cool statement. Okay. Actually, there is one incident that I still remember clearly. Okay, what is the main topic? Let's not forget the main topic, because these sentences sound random, right? What is the main topic? We are talking in terms of a memorable childhood experience. If someone asks you, can you talk about a memorable childhood experience? Then at that point of time, if you forget, or if you feel, or if you freeze, or if you are not able to give the time to your own brain to articulate a sentence, you can go ahead and use sentences like these. Let me think for a second, please. Or I simply, you can use the sentence wherein it sounds like this. I remember something interesting. I truly want to share it with you. What are you doing here? You are buying time. Okay, you're buying time for what? You're buying time to delete that awkward silence. All right? You are going to delete that silence and try to use these sentences. Here, guys, I truly want you to pause the video again and do the same thing, that is, read these sentences aloud and try to relate with them. Also, it would be better if you kind of create a paragraph using these sentences. Do it within the class itself. It's okay if it takes a few minutes longer on your side. However, I'm trying my best to get through to you guys. Please practice, and that is what is important, right? If you look at any activity, how would you get better at it? Obviously, you need to practice. So pause the video, try to make a paragraph out of this sentence. It's great. It's a great activity. Okay, quickly moving on to strategy 6, the expansion trick. Now, what happens sometimes that we really don't know, as human beings who are trying to learn a new language or any language, okay? We don't know when to stop and when not to stop. Sometimes our answers feel pretty short, okay? So what can a person do after that? All right. Sometimes the answers feel short. What can you do after that? If you finish quickly, just add these these questions to your content. Okay, what are you going to do? You're going to add these questions to your content. And what are these questions? You're just going to answer these questions in order to do what? Obviously, elaborate. I hope I'm clear. If you feel your answers are very short and very condensed, and they are they are not giving out that kind of quality information, what can you do? You're just going to stop, or you're just going to use sentences like these, like, let me think for a second, and answer these questions and try to elaborate your content. Like, what changed after that? What did you learn? What would you, I'm sorry, would you like to experience it again? So, am I clear? The expansion strategy is closely linked with this strategy, wherein you are looking at using these sentences, and then you're going to connect them to these answers, the answer to these questions. For example, if I say, actually, if I, okay, let me pick out the second, the second sentence. I would say, I remember something interesting. Okay, then I'm going to try and tell my brain that I'm going to answer this particular question, this question, what changed after that. Okay, so listen to this as I read. I remember something interesting. That experience made me more confident. Okay, then, even today, I remember that day whenever I feel nervous. So, what did you learn, or what is your experience? You can pick out any one or two of these questions and connect them to these sentences. Like, let me think for a second now. So, what happened is that experience made me more confident. However, even today, I remember the day whenever I feel nervous and I'm totally scared. So what happened here? What happened here? I am not kind of, silent, or I'm not keeping quiet even for a second. I am trying to articulate sentences. At the end of the day, I sound fluent. That's all. That's all the strategy is. So try to memorize two things, two sections, and those are the rescue sentences, wherein you can use only these sentences in case you forget the content, even in a presentation, a meeting, or an interview, anywhere really. Then you conclude, then you go on with your strategy 6, wherein you are answering any one of these questions, however, in a form of an answer. Easy, right? So now you feel that your answer is complete, and this is the strategy I want you to practice on your own. Okay, great. Now, I would want you to look at a certain template, super easy version, all right? I'm trying to make everything simple here at GK Pro Academy. So, look at the template. It says, when I was blank, I blank, one day dash happened. At that moment, I felt this and this because of this. Okay, the why factor kicks in here. Why? Because you're expanding. You're expanding. What happened? I felt nervous. If you felt nervous, why did you feel nervous? Expand. After that, something happened. What is that something? What did you learn out of the whole thing, or an experience? That experience taught me. Again, a solid conclusion. Okay, again, what is happening? A solid conclusion. So I would just want you to understand that whatever I'm kind of sharing with you here is for you to understand that these strategies are very important in order to sound fluent when you're communicating with any person, really. Okay, so a pretty small section wherein I want you to look at the screen. The final tip for you is that firstly you need to give a structure. Okay, then you can use the connectors that I spoke about. Then give your emotion words, all right, in the content, in your perspective. Use any kind of emotion that is really connecting with you closely at that point of time, really in relation to whatever happened. Okay, your life. So give those emotion words as well. Then give 30-second preparation to yourself, wherein here, you can do this activity, that is, record yourself, guys. There's a wonderful, wonderful tip that I can share with you is, or an advice really, record yourselves and then listen to yourself again. That is what even I do. Okay, so listen to yourself again and see where you're going wrong and try to correct it the next time. Okay, then speak for 1 minute. All right, all right. So here's something truly important that I want you to understand as well. When someone asks you about your childhood, they are not testing your grammar, all right? They're listening to your story. Try to make it interesting by adding emotions, by adding those hook words, by adding connectors, by giving it a beautiful structure. Okay, so it's about experiencing, making them understand or expressing memory, emotions, and personality together. So if you can tell one childhood story clearly with structure, time flow, feelings, I spoke about adding small details as well. You're not just answering a question, guys, you're building real time communication skill. Okay, because storytelling is used everywhere, guys. It's used in interviews, conversations, presentations, and even during daily chats with friends. Okay, so the ability to share an experience smoothly, what does it show? What does it show? Obviously, it shows confidence, clarity, and connection. Okay, and that's what fluent speaking really looks like. So practice this topic properly, guys. Do not memorize anything. As I told you, you can just go ahead and kind of practice these sentences here. Like, let me think for a second. I remember something interesting. Actually, there is one incident I still remember clearly. And these words also, you can just kind of relate with it. Whenever you feel excited, nervous, scared, proud, happy, you can use them when you are speaking to someone. All right, all right. So let me just kind of close today's session. However, I would want you to know that if you are learning with us on YouTube, this lesson is a part of a free spoken English course. Now, if you want guided practice and step-by-step confidence building, you can always join us through the free course link in the description, guys. Remember one thing: start free, continue only when you feel ready. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day ahead.